Hi, and welcome to the End of Life Journey and Beyond, the Sands of Time. My name is Lisa Strahs-Lorenc, and I'm a bereavement specialist, and it's always good to see you, Susan.
Oh, it's great to see you, Lisa, and I'm so happy that you're feeling better.
Thank you.
I'm Susan Capurso, end of life doula and legacy specialist. And, as we've seen, as you've seen, if you've followed any of our videos, right, we speak about end of life, both before, during, and after a loss. But that would be a human loss.
Mhm.
So both Lisa and I have been encountering many friends and family who are losing pets lately. And we're seeing this firsthand. We're seeing that there's a grieving process and that they too are suffering. And of course, we've seen it throughout our lives, Lisa, we know, but however, there seems to be a greater awareness surrounding pet loss now when it comes to losing our best friends in our home. And it's completely understandable, right, to feel devastated when a beloved pet passes away. And it's really important to give yourself time to grieve and process your emotions and getting the right support and remembering to honor your animals. All of this is key. And we can't compare grief to anyone else's, just like when we lose a loved one. So we knew it was the right time, Lisa and I, to touch on the topic of losing our pets and hope that through today's video that you'll find a little bit of comfort, maybe some ideas and a little inspiration when it comes to losing your furry friend,
True.
right?
It's true. And they don't
I
always,
know. Don't stop. I heard I heard you get choked up there.
yeah, it's true. And it's not
When
only
you said your
furry.
first word.
Yeah, they can't, they're not only furry. Sometimes they have feathers too. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Birds. My first pet was a parakeet. And it was my parakeet. And I remember when it got a tumor on its wing, my parents asked me what I wanted to do. And at my tender age of whatever I was, I said, operate, yeah, they operate on the parakeet on the wing. The
right.
parakeet survived the operation, but died of a heart attack the next day. And I was just devastated. So I want to back
Oh,
up and talk about why our
okay.
pets are so incredibly special to us and how it's just an amazing, and those people who really don't have pets or don't really um, have been raised with pets, or pets aren't a part of their lives, they may not understand how incredibly overwhelming and devastating it is to lose a pet. But those of us who have had pets understand that these little animals become not only part of our family, but they have this incredible way of coming into our hearts. They're there for us. They understand our emotions. They pick up on our cues. We take care of them. They give back unconditionally to us. They wait by the door as even my kitten waited by the door for me. Um, and they're all different. They all have different personalities. I've had 8 cats, and each one was very different. And my dogs. So I do feel this very deeply. I will say that in one year, in 2009, I lost my husband in January. I lost my first lab in July, my second lab in September, and my cat in October. So
Wow.
3 pets and a husband.
Wow.
It was really difficult, really
Wow.
difficult. And so I think about that. And I also think about my 3 friends right now that have recently lost pets. And each of them have been going through such feelings of grief, a real severe grief. You know, I want to point out the time period that our pets are with us. If we're really lucky, a dog might be 20 years old, and that's a pretty old dog. Okay.
Oh, I
Um,
think that's, yeah, you're giving
no,
it
no,
too
the
too
oldest
many
dog,
years.
the oldest dog was 29 years old. I looked it up. Okay. But so you look at the lifespan and you see these animals are not around as long as, we would like them to be. And it's very difficult. You accelerate the life so fast. You have a puppy, then you have sort of a child, then you have sort of a teenager, then an adult, and then you have an older dog already, and cats, of course, as well. So,
And if you love a certain breed, Lisa, like my Aunt Patty, she's in her early 70s and she's already been through um, probably 5 generations of beagles. She
yes,
just loves beagles. So
yes,
she's had about 5 of them
yes,
through her life.
yes. And I have friends who have certain breeds, as you said, that they like. We really loved our labs. But these three friends are grieving in such a hard way. They feel, oh, it's been months, I'm not over it yet. Um, I'm so lonely. I miss that little furry friend around me all the time. I miss
But
the
that
furry.
emotional pain is real.
It
It's
is
so
real.
real,
It is real.
you
A
know? And
whole
if you're spending all day, especially if you're home all day,
right.
you're spending a tremendous amount of hours with this
Yes.
animal,
Yes. Yes. And that animal's curling up next to you or sleeping with you or following you around the house. And you have
loving you,
routines. You're used to
loving you.
certain routines. And now that emptiness is just devastating. Devastating. So I get it. I really understand. I always was a pet person. We even had, my husband and I even had guinea pigs. We had rabbits. We had doves. We had parakeets. We had a lot of different animals. And each animal has a certain kind of special heart, special place in your heart.
And
So
Lisa, I do know as well that people do go through the different stages
they
with
do.
pet loss, right?
They do.
So
They do.
you are going to go through the stages of denial and anger and guilt and depression, and that's okay.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
okay. You're not an oddball. That's
That's right.
supposed to happen.
That's right. That's right. And it goes up and down, just like all our grief. There's
Highs
some
and
days
lows,
where
right?
something happens, or you see another dog and you say that dog was just like my dog, or you see something that triggers something, just like for all of us as we're grieving. So comes in waves, like all of us. And the thing is, you have to seek out people, number one, who understand and who aren't going to say, well, it's just a pet, or, it happened a while ago, so don't worry about it. I mean, that's true with all of our grief. We need to go to the people who we can talk to and who understand us and who will give us the kind of empathy that we deserve and the kind of
And I
care that
think
we
that's
deserve.
where your support system will come from.
That's right.
Somebody else who really, really loves their animals
That's right.
and
That's
who
right.
really understands what you're going through. That's the kind of support you need right now.
That's right. And many of us have also had to put our dogs or animals down to euthanize them. And that's been a big decision, that we all had to deal with. There comes a point where, the vet says, listen, they're suffering or they're never going to get well, or, their time has come. And that's a horrible, really horrible decision. However, knowing that that animal is not going to be suffering anymore and that animal, had a life and all that. So you have those things to deal with as well.
Well, let me just tell you
So,
a quick story,
yeah,
Lisa. I was 23 and it was my first pet. And it happened to be a beagle because my aunt loved beagles. Um, she did get cancer, like you're talking about, and started feeling lumps. And I won't go into the gory details, but I knew it was the right thing to do at that time because she would only continue to get worse.
yeah,
And it made me sad. And I said, I've got this. And I took her to somebody recommended a great place for me to take her. Um, I didn't think in my mind, I thought I'd be okay. I'm a pretty strong person. I didn't think in my mind that it would be as hard or devastating as it was. Now, granted, I was 23, a little young, but it didn't matter. And I held her and we went through the process, I'll say, right? When I left there, and a friend came with me, when I left there, I have to say, maybe I wouldn't do the same thing now. But at 23, we drove down the road and we pulled into a restaurant, and there was a bar there, and we sat up at the bar and we drank and we drank and I drank. I couldn't handle it. It was so hard for me now, so hard. And it didn't help that I drank. And we got in the car. She dropped me off at home. And I remember sleeping for 24 hours. I slept. And when I woke up, well, not only didn't I feel too good because I didn't normally do that in my life, but
Yeah.
it was just so difficult for me.
Yes.
Speaking of dogs, if you can hear Moon in the background.
Yes. Yes. So the thing after the pet is gone is interesting. People decide some very different things. Some decide to get the pet back and bury the pet in the backyard. People do that. But then, if you leave the house, then the pet's in the, backyard. There's pet cemeteries. Then a bunch of us, like me, do a cremation. And I did that. And it's not cheap, but I did that. And I scattered my pets where I had scattered my husband's ashes because that made me feel like they were together. It was a symbolic thing. Some actually get a paw print. I've seen that. I've seen places that, vets and Chewy send out beautiful cards and acknowledgments. So this rainbow bridge thing that they do, and really make you feel like that pet really mattered. So they understand how important our pets are to us. And again, you have to find the people who understand that as well. So now going through the grieving process is like going through any grieving process, except that other people may not understand how difficult this is. It's one thing to say it was my mother or my father or spouse or whatever. Now it's your pet. And they think, oh, pet, just a pet, but not true. And so again, as we said before, you find the people who you can talk to. But there's some really interesting strategies when you're ready that may help you with the pet grief. One of them is making a scrapbook or a photo album about the pet. And I think that's really nice. You can bring up when the pet was a puppy or a kitten and go through the years that pet was with you. By the way, I remember hearing from everybody that you shouldn't have a cat with a baby. And I had my cat first. I had an older cat. And when Sari came along, they were all warning me, put up things, don't, crush the baby, suffocate the baby. I mean, all this stuff. This pet was so protective of this baby. It was unbelievable. They would lay together, on the floor together. He would follow her around the house. I mean, really became a very special companion for my daughter. And all the pets that we had became like that. So anyway, photographs are great. Brings back really nice memories. If you like to write, you could actually do a story or some poetry, on your dog's life or, your pet's life, personality. It could even be a story for children. People make up stories and stuff, with the pet's name. And I've heard that. I've seen that before done. Another one, which I really like, is volunteering at a rescue organization as a way of honoring that pet and giving back. And I think that's just such a wonderful thing to do. And then, of course, doing something for yourself, any kind of positive change, learning something or doing something, that maybe you didn't do before. You feel like, well, now I'm more available than I was before. So, I can do this now. And then, of course, always, don't push it away. Always acknowledge that these are the feelings you have. They're normal feelings. Don't listen to crazy people who say don't feel that way. And allow yourself, again, the grieving process that you and I talk about all the time for anybody. It's just that this is a pet. And people need to understand how special pets are. The mistake that people make is the pet dies and they are online or they're in some kind of thing to get a new pet. That's a big mistake. Number one, you'll be comparing your pet with the other pet, the new pet. And number two, you really need to spend some time, grieve a little bit, and then figure out what you want to do. It's just human nature to try and replace, but it's really not a good idea to run and do that quickly. That's a mistake.
You know, I have an idea I want to put out there for seniors. They have organizations now, and I'm sorry it's not off the top of my head. I actually met a woman from the organization. I think they dealt with Alzheimer's and dementia, but I know that you can buy them online, and they're those um, they're battery operated, pets that are lifelike.
Yes, I've seen them breathe.
So I have a friend who just sent one to another friend who lost her cat, and it was the same color, and it purred, and it just sat on the couch, and it moved its head a little bit. I don't know how I feel about that. Um, but I know people send them, and I know people are comforted by them.
Yeah, yeah,
And not to, I don't want to freak anybody out today, but we are talking about pet loss, and I also know somebody that um for a taxidermy
I know. I've heard that too.
stuffs her pets. I don't
I
know
know.
what's the right word for it, Lisa. I
Yes, I
don't
know.
want to
Yeah, I know. Yes.
say
Yeah,
stuff your pet.
yeah,
I mean,
yes. Yeah,
and that is a service out there
I
that
know.
people utilize a lot. And when I tell you a lot, it's because I know this person, they live in another state, and they have done that with all of their passing animals. Um, and there's a wait list.
Yeah. Yeah. To each their
So
own.
just throwing that in there, right?
Each
We're
their
not
own.
here to talk about that today, but
No, no, but yeah. And I do want to say that for two out of the three people, I did send your pet rock basket.
the healing
Um,
garden bowl
Healing
for
Garden for
pet,
Pets. Thank you.
healing garden bowl for pet loss, right?
And
Well,
both
thank you.
both have said that the rocks have been very meaningful to them and
Yeah.
that it was a really thoughtful gift.
I have an Etsy shop, and it's called the Healing Garden Bowl.
Yeah,
And there's a few themes on there, different themes. If you have a friend with a cancer diagnosis, grief, but there's a special one in a blue bowl for pet loss. And on some of the stones, there's about 12 stones in the bowls, and they all read something different, the message, their comforting messages,
they are.
about your breed and different messages. And you can personalize that if you want as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice to have the name on it and all. Very nice. Yeah. So again, focusing on how grateful you are, with what you had with that animal and the wonderful life you had together and the memories you have together, all those things that we concentrate on. But understanding that a pet is a very special part of your life. And it's too soon. They're just not around as many years as we would like.
You have to
So
be gentle with yourself. Be
you do.
gentle
You
because
do.
you're going to feel all these emotions, that's for sure.
Yes. And certainly don't feel guilty that you have these because grief is grief. And anyone who's come into your life and has been part of your life, that's a huge, you know, um, space to fill. And an animal fills it in a very, very special way. As I said, that sense of purpose and those routines and the things that you did together and shared together. My dogs love our RV because they were with us 24/7 when they were in the RV. There we are camping and we're hiking and we're walking and going places and stuff. And they loved it. They loved it. Yeah. So, you know, the point is acknowledge the grief, go with it. Don't fight it. Find the people who are supportive of it and
Don't let
understand.
anyone tell you how to feel.
I know,
Don't
but they
don't let
do.
anyone tell you, get over it
Yeah.
or,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Exactly.
it's okay to go through these feelings about being angry or crying or,
Yes.
keep those pictures around. I love the pictures.
Yes.
Often we don't have pictures around. of our pets, but it's an important thing to do now. And it's
Yes,
okay to laugh and find meaning and celebrate their memory. We're all about celebrating.
we are.
So celebrate through those visualizations. In the healing garden, I have little directions on it to kind of visualize and meditate on that message for the day and keep those thoughts with you throughout the day. It's all about, celebrating a life well lived, how
Yes,
meaningful
yes.
was in your life and how they've helped you through the years and through the nights and through the moments. And again, like Lisa said, there are pet loss support groups.
There are.
Look,
It's unbelievable. I
there
looked them up.
are.
Wow. And there's
Oh, you
podcasts
did?
about them. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So this is a thing.
And have a ceremony. Have some kind of ceremony
Yeah.
with friends or family members that understand, even if it's in your own backyard,
Yes,
and doing something a little celebratory and or reading. You can find those online as
yes,
well.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So those are our best love friends, our pets. Yeah, yeah.
I
So tell
think
me what you've
that
been up to since you have something going on tomorrow evening. Let's announce it.
oh, it's a legacy presentation to learn a little bit more about legacy and how you can help your loved ones to leave their stories, memories, and experiences. And by tomorrow night, you probably won't be able to register, but I'll be doing a few more of those throughout the year.
Great.
And Lisa, in your spare time?
Uh, quiet on the home front. Always
That's
available for,
good because your life is not usually quiet.
yes. I do have a bunch of sick people, tell you the truth, and I worry about them and all that. They're going through a lot right now, including that couple that was on with us. They were on maybe 3 weeks ago. He has
Lung cancer.
he has pneumonia right now,
Oh,
and
I'm
he's
so
in the hospital.
sorry. Oh my
So
gosh.
I hope that he
Okay.
can overcome this because it's a long fight, lung
Yeah,
cancer. So
yeah. And I know you're far away now, but just keep supporting and sending the good messages and leaving messages and
yes.
send them a card with some nice, thoughtful things in it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And again, I'm always available for any kind of one-to-one support. And if anybody has any ideas of support groups in the future that they feel that we could help with, we're always available for some idea like that. You should also mention the
Wonderful.
celebrant stuff that you do. That's something really important.
Oh, recently, yeah, well, not recently, last year I certified as a funeral celebrant. So that I do on Long Island. So you can always reach out to me for more information about that or go to my website, susancapurso.com, and you can contact me through there or call me. Our phone number is right up top.
Yep. Yeah.
So
All
this was
kinds of.
nice today, Lisa. I
Yes.
hope, and I do want to apologize. I am babysitting my son's dog today. So, but maybe that was a good thing. Maybe I didn't have to
Yeah.
pause so many times because we should have heard her barking in the
Yeah.
background.
It's part of your
You
life.
know,
Yes.
it's part of our video today.
That's right. That's right.
So, we just want you to know that if you're suffering the loss of a pet, there is help out there, there is support. Talk to friends. It's all okay to go through all of these emotions. And you'll be okay, especially if
Yes.
you've lost an animal in the past and moving forward. You will
Yes.
be okay, but you need to feel these feelings and go through these emotions right now.
That's right.
And if you have any questions about that, reach out to either one of us and we'll be happy to help or guide you towards some support and in the right direction.
Absolutely.
And until next week,
Yeah,
we want to thank you so much for joining us.
we do.
And are you on vacation next week?
You are.
Oh no.
So we'll see you on
Oh,
the
I'm away.
27th. See you
I'm
back again
away.
on the
We'll see you
27th.
on the following week.
Sounds
Um,
good.
I think our guest is um
Angel Wigs of Hope. It's a great organization. Gives out
yeah,
wigs. Yeah. And they'll tell us more
very
about the not-for-profit.
fantastic. Looking
Yeah.
forward to that. Great
Yeah.
information, Lisa.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you, and
Thank
you
you.
have a great week.
You too. Take care of yourself. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.